of this year and advise how a merchant can adjust his store to drive more sales. After the webinar, there will be questions and answers session. So if you have any questions, please email them to alliance@x-card.com. Now a quick introduction of our valued guest from PayPal. Bob Angus is a partner marketing manager. Bob has a 20 years experience of promoting online solutions and software products. Bob is passionate about innovative technology, effective marketing, and creating an experience that makes customers happy. I should also add that Bob has a wonderful daughter, and during the dry run she took Bob's earphones. But this time the earphones were returned to the legal holder, so technically we are ready to start. So Bob, will you please proceed?
Thank you very much, Ksenia, and thank you everyone for joining us today. Payments and really how the world is changing for e-commerce and commerce in general is really exciting right now. And the world of commerce is at a right spot and a right time, and you're at the center of that. And how customers pay is going through dramatic change. Your store needs to go way beyond just accepting credit cards. And in this session, I'm going to give you some insights on the latest payment trends and provide you some best practice tips on ways that you can take advantage of it. And ultimately, the goal would be so you could increase your sales. So what we'll cover today are specifically some items, the trends that make up the key components of how commerce is really taking place in 2014. But what you're going to learn is how you're going to capture more sales at checkout. Also, how to convert better, turning shoppers or browsers into actual buyers and customers. And then the other thing that I want to really touch on is focus on how you could boost your sales and your conversions with mobile payments. Mobile payments is going to be a hot topic. We'll cover a couple trends there. And as Ksenia mentioned, during the discussion at any time, feel free to email your questions in. We will be able to respond to those at the end of the session. So what are consumers looking for today? The way I like to think of it actually is, we're business owners, we're doing e-commerce, but we're also consumers too, and we buy stuff. And I want you to think about your shopping experiences recently, or even over the past holiday season. And I imagine, if you think about how you were paying for things when you were buying something, you probably noticed that, things are changing, and how you shop and how you buy and the underlying technologies that are used to conduct commerce and buy things is fundamentally changing. So again, it's no longer about just accepting credit cards on your online store or wherever someone's selling. You have customers and prospective customers, those shoppers, who are now armed with mobile phones. That allows them to shop and buy at any time and really anywhere. And you have to be ready to make the sale whenever your customer wants to buy something. But at the same time, consumers are also more savvy now, and they're looking for deals. And they don't want to do easy person shopping. They just want the lowest price, as well as the best product, of course, but they have many new capabilities to quickly and easily access those deals and get the best price for the best product. And then there's also other fundamental delivery is incredibly important. You have to ship your products all the time. And customers want that instant gratification now. And so there's things like same-day delivery or pickup in a store or other different shipping options that have really empowered customers, and so they want to get what they want when and where they want to get it. And so you need to take those things into considerations. And ultimately, also more ways to pay. And certainly PayPal is a big part of giving you your customers new ways to pay. But ultimately, how your customer's thinking about it is it is a total shopping experience. And the bottom line is, what they really want from businesses is just a wonderful, seamless, easy, great total shopping experience that gives them all of these things. Now, of course, the challenge is, that's great and everything, but it's not so easy to do as a merchant. There are a lot of things that you need to do to deliver that total shopping experience and really stand out from the competition. There are challenges everywhere as a business, and it doesn't matter what size of business you are. So large merchants, they're thinking about how can I drive more customers in, but they're also thinking about multiple channels. Medium-sized businesses, there's a lot of competition coming in, but then also the pace of innovation. Right? I'm talking about mobile shopping and deal comparison sites, let alone things like how do you drive traffic to your site through search engines and social media. There's just a constant pace of innovation, and it's really challenging as a business to absorb all that and actually execute it. Now, the great news is that you don't have to be a mega retailer to take advantage of these trends that are taking place, but you do need to consider that pace of innovation really, and the technologies behind it, are something that you need to consider. So it is kind of hard it's great that we have trends and consumer momentum, but sometimes it's hard as a business. And so how you want to think about payments and your payment solutions are that, we see all these innovations and we see the challenges playing out in payments as well, but you need to make those considerations a part of your vendor choice. And so you want to make sure that, first of all, you're getting paid. That's ultimately the key that you want when you're choosing your payment solution provider. But you want to make sure that it's secure, and it's secure for your customers. You want to give all the options to pay, just not accepting credit cards. You don't want any customer leaving your site just because their favorite way to pay is not available. Same time, it has to be easy for you to set up. And again, with all that pace of innovation, you don't want to be burning a lot of your time doing a lot of setup work. You want to get to the job of selling. Also, especially when it comes to payments and credit card processing, the pricing setup for that and the fees that you pay a lot of times can be really complex. Different credit cards charge you different rates for a lot of merchant services. So you really need simple pricing. And then, again, you need more and more features, things that you can offer that meet your business model. For example, if you do subscription or regular recurring payments, you need an ability to set up recurring payments for your customers and make it super seamless. So that's kind of a little bit of background on what's taking place and what your consumers are expecting. But now I'm going to dive into the four trends that really are driving a lot of change in payments, and they're going to help you sell more. And the first trend is offering customers more ways to pay. We have a screenshot here of one of Xcart's merchants, and simple ability to have that nice, clean, easy shopping cart experience is very important to any customer. And the convenience of how someone pays is incredibly important. You know, they want to speed through the checkout process with a consistently great and easy to manage experience. They also want to make sure that everything is secure. You know, all their payment types are held securely. There's especially with a lot of the news coming out, you know, around different businesses here in the States, Target getting hacked. Folks are very still concerned about giving their credit card information. They want to know and trust that when they're paying with a credit card that they're safe. Then there's other little things, little nuances that help conversion, and that's speed. Anything that you could do to reduce clicks and forms is going to increase your conversion rates. But then ultimately also, as a business, you want more customers and demand. I mentioned before that you don't want to turn people away just because of the way they want to pay. So you want to expand and draw as many people to your site, as well as ultimately get them to purchase by offering as many ways to pay. An example of that, of course, I'll mention it, is PayPal. We have over 143 million active registered accounts, active shoppers around the world that use PayPal every day. You wouldn't want to turn off that type of base who would come to your site and prefer to pay that way. Or ultimately, maybe the other way to think about it is, hey, if you offer something like PayPal or other ways to pay, you're going to be attracting those customers, and you'll have a leg up on your competition. And ComScore did a research study last year that looked at how people are looking at those alternative ways to pay, not just paying with their credit card. And they looked at who consumers were aware of, and then ultimately, more important, who's actually using that service. And it was great news for the PayPal folks. But they looked at, you know, PayPal, Google, MasterCard, the new Square wallet, and Visa's initiative called V.me. And, you know, again, it demonstrates that there's a lot of awareness outside of just using credit cards when shopping online. And PayPal, almost 2/3 or three-quarters of people recognize and are aware of PayPal. And more importantly, almost half actually use PayPal. So ComScore really found that not only are these alternative methods of payment, there's visibility for them, but people are actually using them. And part of that is ultimately the convenience that it really presents for those customers. When you use PayPal, for example, all you have to do is enter in, you choose your stuff that's in your cart. The buyer just selects pay with PayPal. They use their username and password, and then everything's done for them. The shipping information, the method of payment, you know, whether they're going to use credit card or their PayPal balance or bill me later, is all right there. It just pops up, they review it, and they're done, and you get paid. So really, it makes a super seamless experience that takes seconds to do rather than minutes of filling out a lot of shipping information, credit card numbers. All that information is handled by PayPal. And so again, alternative methods of payment really speed things up. And the net result is your conversion rates are going to go up. We looked at ComScore again, actually, in 2011, looked at a lot of the internet retailer top 100 sites that use PayPal, and they noticed that when somebody used checkout, the conversion rate was over double just the standard credit card conversion rate. And at the end of the day, that's going to mean more sales for you. And we typically see an average of 18% increase just by offering express checkout and offering PayPal as a way to pay. So that convenience, the security, the speed is fantastic for your customers. And the fact that there's a whole bunch of them, over 143 million active ones, that's good for you. So the second trend is kind of a little transition. So instead of more ways to pay, give them more time to pay. The customers, I mean, they love financing. I mean, one of the reasons they use credit cards is so that they could put it off for a month paying. Well, better yet, why not offer even more time to pay? And this is actually something that big box stores and mega online retailers have been doing for many, many years. They offer, a certain amount of time extra to pay and either no financing fees or small financing fees. The reason they do that, these big merchants, is because it works. It attracts more customers. It gets more customers to buy, and those customers, when they're in that shopping cart, are actually buying more. And so it's really compelling to customers to have more time to pay. The application process is super fast, and again, it's easy to use and secure. We actually, using our, and of course PayPal's solution for this is something called Bill Me Later. It's an option in the X card. And we'll actually go into a little demo of that later. But ultimately, we wanted to find out, okay, well, that's great. We think that customers like paying later. But let's find out. And so ComScore did another survey, and they specifically talked to Bill Me Later buyers last year. And there were some really amazing statistics. And ultimately, the ones I want to highlight are things that are going to drive more sales. First of all, 30% of Bill Me Later buyers said that they would not have likely made that purchase if it wasn't for the 6-month financing offer. So that's just a great ability to drive customers to transact. They have lots of different choices on where to shop online or even offline, and they would choose a site that offers Bill Me Later and would not have chosen that site or purchased from that site if it wasn't for that payment option. So that's really powerful. That, to me, ultimately, that's the key thing. Is wouldn't you like to have 30% more customers choosing your site as opposed to your competition? No question, you'd love that. Also, it's likely that those customers will come back. 93% of first-time Bill Me Later customers said that they'd likely come back again. So returning customers, very important too. The other benefit for you is that customers tend to buy more when they have financing options available to them. 30% of the Bill Me Later buyers said that they actually spent more than they had planned to. So your average order size is going to go up. With the current offer, you can see if you're selling something and somebody's shopping cart is $75, $80, they might see an offer for financing over $100 and make that extra purchase. They'll buy an extra item. They'll go from quantity 1 to quantity 2. it's going to drive more sales and increase average order value for you. And then, of course, is the experience good? And the surveyed customers, 94% of them felt that they would likely recommend Bill Me Later to others. So that's a testament to a nice, simple, easy experience, as well as, of course, a great way to pay and pay later. So that's good for your customers. You know, what are some of your benefits as a merchant? This is very important. You know, you want to turn those browsers into buyers. They're going to see that financing offer, and they're more likely to choose and actually make that purchase. But the key to you is you get paid right away. So your customers pay later, but you get paid right away, just like anything with PayPal. There's no additional cost of a transaction or using Bill Me Later. And again, you get repeat business. Your customers love this, and they're going to keep on using it again and again. And then lastly, again, the logistics of collecting those payments. You don't have to worry about it. That's basically what Bill Me Later service offers, and what we do at PayPal. We assume the credit risk. You don't have to worry. You got paid right away as soon as a purchase was made. So again, I alluded before, there's a lot of these new features and capabilities and technologies that could be really challenging for you. Bill Me Later is not one of them. You get paid right away, and you don't take on any of the credit risk or worry about collecting those payments. Now, Xcart has implemented Bill Me Later in a very super easy way. We'll see a quick demo of that in a sec. But the key thing to remember is the offer that is available now for all purchases, and this is just for the United States only, customers in the United States, purchases over $99 or more, your customers have no payments and no interest for 6 months. So again, if their shopping cart is about $75, that's a pretty good reason to bump up and buy more, so they don't have to pay and have no interest charges for 6 months. So trend number 3. So I've gone, we talked about offering more ways to pay, offering your customers more time to pay. Customers love that. But the other thing that they're loving right now is their mobile phone. And I'm sure, again, you probably use your mobile phone all the time. You might have made purchases on your smartphone or tablet this past holiday season. It's really amazing how mobile is taking over. And what we've seen is people use their smartphones and their tablets for different things. A lot of times, right, they're making shopping lists, they're checking product availability, deals and coupons. I mean, that's really one of the key drivers for sales now is, hey, can I easily find a deal or a coupon? They're doing that from their phone because they're in front of a store or actually in a store shopping. They want to see if they can save some money or buy it online for cheaper. And that's the key. They certainly compare prices. They do product research. And ultimately also a large number, and this is a study that was done last year, they started purchasing. So this is the newest and fastest growth area for, certainly we've seen it on our side, with mobile payments actually doubling last year. PayPal, we processed over $27 billion in mobile payments in 2013. And that was a double from 2012. Significant, fast-paced growth here. So ComScore saw that with tablets, folks were purchasing at least 40% of the time they were using their device to purchase a good or service. Smartphones a little bit less in the 20% range. And I'm going to go into a little bit detail on how people pay using their different tablet versus a smartphone. But ultimately, as we enter this age of the digital wallet and mobile phones, we know that everybody has these devices now. Now, the key is, how are they going to use them for commerce? And looking at the digital wallet, this is the same ComScore study that showed that PayPal is very, very frequently used. But they did talk about in general that 1 in 2 consumers are likely to use a digital wallet in the coming year. So half of the consumers are going to use some form of a digital wallet. That's really powerful. That's a ton of traffic and customers that you need to make sure you're paying attention to. Now, their intent to use that digital wallet is all about privacy and trust. So the leading influencers, or their intent to purchase or use a digital wallet, privacy is the key, and more than twice as many folks are likely to trust a digital wallet brand that they're familiar with. So they want a big brand name, somebody that they know and can trust. And as we mentioned before, many people recognize and are aware of PayPal, but more importantly, they're using PayPal. And that's because of trust and security. And then also, consumers value ease of use and usability over bells and whistles and functions and features. When you're on a mobile device, you want things to be fast. And you want it to be very easy to use and solve your problems right then and there. And actually, one of the cool things that we're seeing that is solving those real customer pain points. And using mobile devices, one of the things that customers can do beyond doing their shopping lists and checking for prices is now that they could actually skip lines. So you're waiting for something, it takes a long time, or you know that you're going into a restaurant at lunch when it's super crowded. Well, you can go ahead and use your digital wallet to order ahead. So that's an example of something that the PayPal digital wallet offers, but that also, again, just in general, the trends and what your customers are expecting to do with their mobile devices is really revolutionary. So they're going from standard shopping practices to making dramatic changes by super fast and easy payments and getting what they want when they want it. Now, that really leads to the fourth trend, which is a super seamless mobile checkout experience. And this is incredibly important. When you're on a mobile phone, you have a limited screen space. You don't want to type in a lot of stuff because that takes time. And if you're like me, you probably mess it up a lot too. And that just gets in the way of actually getting that checkout experience. So just like I mentioned before, in an online experience, when you use PayPal, it's just a couple clicks to make a purchase. The same thing has to apply on a mobile phone. It's not actually more important. So looking at the uses, though, it is worth breaking down how people use a tablet versus a smartphone for making purchases. So a tablet, it's great. It's used actually primarily at home. It's a shared device. You don't have a ton of tablets at home right now, anyway. But it has a nice large screen, so it kind of takes the place of that traditional browser, what the computer did. or even your TV. So the nice form factor of a tablet makes interaction a lot better. And so what eMarketer found was that 61% of people were using their apps on a mobile phone or on their tablet, excuse me, but they're also browsing. Nearly 40% of folks are using the web and accessing sites just like they would on their computer, but they're doing it on their tablet. And that translates into increased shopping, but then also a key statistic here, so while 60% of those customers use their tablet to shop, nearly 50% used their tablet to buy. So they didn't just browse and look at things and then go into another room and order online using their computer. They did it right there from their tablet. And so in fact, when you look at a comparison versus smartphones, the browse to buy conversion was 2 times higher. So your users that are on a tablet are twice as likely to buy using that tablet than on their smartphone. Now, vice versa, a smartphone is everywhere. You have it with you. It's in your pocket. It's probably in your pocket right now, or it's on your desk. You take it with you, and it's a very individual device. Everybody has one, and it's infinitely portable. So there's many, many more smartphones out there right now. Now, how people use their smartphone, a lot of apps and a little bit of browsing. Tons of shopping. Again, same amount of folks use, so 60% use their mobile phone to shop, but only close to 30% actually purchased using their smartphone. And a lot of that is due to the form factor. But again, to your site, what you care about is traffic. So because it's infinitely more portable and everybody has a mobile phone, mobile traffic is twice as high as it is for tablets. So you get a lot more traffic from a mobile phone, but you get a lot more actual buyers who are using a tablet. Now, it's incredibly important when somebody is buying. So, so folks are buying. It has to be super, super fast. Again, I mentioned on a computer, you don't want to have to type in all that shipping information and credit card and expiration date and CCV code. That impacts conversions on a computer. On a mobile phone, it's even more important. And again, it's because it's hard to type on a mobile phone. So a customer really wants it to be tap, tap, and done, and make their purchase, and then wait at home for that shipment to arrive. With PayPal, when you set up Express Checkout or the PayPal payment options, you automatically get our mobile Express Checkout capability. So when somebody logs in or says, I'm ready to check out with PayPal, we identify, oh, did that come from a mobile browser or did it come from the computer? If it comes from a mobile browser, we make a super simple, easy process. Again, all you need is your username and your password. That's about all the typing that they have to do. They get to see and review their shipping information, the products that they're purchasing, how they're going to purchase. They just quickly review that, and usually that's all set up automatically. And then they complete and the transaction. So again, it's really fast. It's tap, tap, and done. Username and password is a lot faster than typing in shipping address, credit card information. So just as a quick summary before Ksenia jumps in and shows you actually how cool Bill Me Later is in the XCart interface, I just want to recap. Your customers love and expect a fast and secure checkout experience. That's going to be very pervasive and continue to be pervasive when customers are buying. And you want to capture more of those customers. And so one way to do that is by offering more ways to pay and offering more time to pay. And lastly, again, mobile is growing insanely fast. Your customers are likely accessing your site using a smartphone or tablet these days. And so you want to make sure that to capture those sales right when somebody's ready to buy, when they have their phone in their hand, when they have their tablet on their lap. And the best way to do that is a fast mobile checkout experience, and that's going to convert much, much higher for you. Okay, so well, I blazed through those 4 trends. Again, we'll open up questions in just a moment. So if you want to send us an email, send it to alliance@x-cart.com. We'll take your questions after Ksenia gives a great demo.
Thank you, Bob, for your excellent presentation. You are a very good speaker, but you know, my hair was getting gray every time you made a meaningful pause, because I was thinking, oh my God, there is some problem with connection again. So I would like to show something about the emulator module. Actually, I was going to demonstrate demonstrate this module using a store, but it turns out that PayPal's security settings would not allow that for me because the emulator requires a US-based merchant account. So once PayPal detects that I'm outside the US, it will kick me. So let's use a screenshot. The emulator is a dependent payment method. This means that its activity depends on the primary PayPal payment method on which it is enabled. In our case, it's PayPal Payments Advanced. So if the primary one is active and enabled, PayPal Bill Emulator service is also active and enabled. If you still would like to disable the emulator, you can do it, but you will need to go to Settings menu, Modules, find Bill Emulator Financing module there and disable. But according to PayPal's records, the merchants promoting the availability of this service see a 20% increase in sales. So why not try? And if you decide to try, we have already done everything for you. You don't need to copy and paste the code. You don't need to edit templates because all the banners are already implemented. You may enable the banners on 4 types of pages. It's a home page, a category page, product page, and a cart page. You can also select the exact place where to display the banner. So all 4 types of pages support so-called top banner. Also, the product page allows you to add a smaller banner at the bottom of the page below the Add to Cart button. When it comes to cart page, we can also enable a large top banner or a smaller bottom banner. As you can see, setting up is super easy, so it's up to you whether to use this module or not, but you do have a tool in case you decide to. Bob was also speaking about PayPal Express Checkout and PayPal Wallet. The first one has been implemented in Nextcard for ages. The emulator appeared starting from version 4.6.1. And as for PayPal Wallet, Bob, could you please tell me, as I understand, it's an application for a smartphone. Does it have something to do with e-commerce? Can online merchants accept payments from customers using a PayPal wallet, or does it work for offline stores only or for points of sale?
Sure, that's a great question. Yeah, so customers are going to the Apple App Store or the Google Store and finding, and they use the PayPal app. And what the PayPal app provides for e-commerce providers is primarily an easy way to administer and track their account. So they'll be able to quickly see purchases being made. They get texts that go straight to their phone. They can make their payment choices. So let's say they choose something to purchase and then later they want to change the method of payment, they can do that. So it primarily does a lot for administration. The app itself is typically used for purchases for offline stores right now, but you can make sure, because it's based on location, is typically how it's done. So again, though, rather than the PayPal digital wallet being your key weapon, there is just using Express Checkout and having the mobile experience on your site. So when they're on your site, you want to make sure that they're paying when they want, and they don't need their app for that.
Okay, thank you for your answer, Bob. I have just received another question. Let me please read it for you. The question is about PCI compliance for the mobile applications that accept credit cards. Is it really needed? So could you please comment on the PCI compliance for mobile apps, in particular for PayPal Wallet?
Sure. Yeah, PCI compliance is very, very important. It's very important to your customers, but then of course, right, it's always very challenging for you as a business as well. When using credit card processing, you need to make sure that the payment solution provider that you choose is PCI compliant. So your payment solution provider can provide a lot of the great benefits so that you don't have to do it. So for example, with PayPal Payments Standard, we take the credit cards on our site. That information, the data, is not stored on your site. So we're PCI compliant. PayPal, or I should say, PayPal is PCI compliant, and you don't have to worry about that element of PCI compliance for your business. And of course, there are many, many features, or I should say, requirements for PCI compliance. There's other items when you're capturing and holding data that are involved, but certainly for payments, make sure your payment provider is PCI compliant or is helping you become PCI compliant.
Okay, we have received another good question. I am sending you into your Skype bot.
Okay.
So the question is from one of our good customers, Jeremy Roberts. We have a loyalty program using PayPal Express bypasses final checkout in Xcard. Can we permit the customer to use the PayPal Express mobile payment option as an additional payment method and not PayPal owns the customer experience? In other words, I want PayPal to be an option side by side with other payment methods. This is how it is now. Can the mobile customer benefit from mobile PayPal checkout if not handing over the entire experience to PayPal before my final checkout?
Yeah, so how you enable PayPal Express Checkout, there's a couple of different options. We recommend, actually, this is a great way, is to make sure that the customer is returning back to your site. And so when you pay with PayPal as a method of payment, yes, you can set it up so that somebody selects Pay with PayPal, they enter their login information, do their thing on PayPal, and then when they press complete or submit, we will redirect back to your site. It's a very straightforward process. I believe you should be able to do that through your Xcart interface very easily.
Thank you, Bob. We've got another question, but it's rather about the integration of PayPal in XCard. Is there an XCard 5 PayPal solution which allows me to take credit card payments on my website? Yes, there is such a solution, but it requires integration with Xpayments. XCard 5 has already got an Xpayments connection. Xpayments connector is a free module, but Xpayments itself is a PCI certified software, which allows you to accept payments right on the side of your store without all those annoying redirects, and it also supports PayPal integration. So, in brief, there is a XCard 5 compatible solution which allows you to take credit card payments right on the side of your website, and it handles all payments in a secure and PCI compliant way. The next question is for you, I suppose. I've been told that I cannot downgrade my PayPal account from Pro to Advanced. Is that true? I'm going to send it to you.
I'm pausing to think about that. For PayPal, whichever solution is right for you, you can use. There might be some confusion about you would have to work with your account manager, but definitely if you want to use PayPal Payments Advanced, you can do that. However, of course, you lose some functionality and features and customization. PayPal Payments Pro is that perfect solution, similar to what Ksenia just mentioned, where you're able to control all the payments and accepting credit cards on your site. PayPal Payments Pro is the solution that provides that. PayPal Payments Advanced is a different integration, and so you would have to reintegrate with PayPal Payments Advanced. Yes,
so, Bob, I'm sorry for interrupting you. Would you like to add something?
No, I'm fine, thanks.
It's actually the second part of the same question. What more does the PayPal Advanced get me over PayPal Standard?
Yeah, that's a great.
Sorry, versus PayPal Pro.
Okay. Yeah, so PayPal Payments Pro is the fully customizable solution for accepting credit cards and payments on your site. You can establish all the many different features that you like, and the experience looks 100% like it's on your card, and it actually is taking place on your site. And we're doing the payment processing through the merchant or with your merchant account and your payment gateway. So the Payments Pro is fully customizable. PayPal Payments Advanced, the customer, when they click to use their credit card or make their payment, we pop up a light box, or I call it a pop-up, but it's a light box that allows them to enter their information on the site in that pop-up. However, that is actually being hosted on our site. So the nice thing there is, again, PCI compliance, everything's on our side, but the experience is nice, and it feels like they're just receiving a pop-up and staying on your site.
Thank you so much. Actually, we have received another very tricky and interesting question from Jeremy, but he asks to answer this question offline. So I will forward his question to you by email, and you will help Jeremy to figure out.
Yeah, one other thing I'd like to mention about accepting credit cards using PayPal is something that I didn't mention in the presentation, but it's always very important to merchants, and a lot of time it's how much does a merchant have to pay? What are my fees? with one of the nice things that we do at PayPal is we want to keep your pricing simple, and so that you always very much know exactly what you're going to pay for fees when you're processing credit cards. So for example, your starting payments, it's 2.9% plus 30 cents per transaction, and that is across all the different types of credit cards that are being used. A lot of times, merchant service providers have a lot of hidden fees, or their pricing is different. They may be advertised very low price, low fees, but that only applies to certain qualifying cards. But if you have customers who use cards that get points and have loyalty programs or business cards, oftentimes that low pricing doesn't apply for those other merchant service providers. So again, that's why we try to think when it comes to credit card processing, keep it simple for you and save you money by having nice flat fees.
I have just checked my email and I cannot see any new questions. So I would like to thank Bob for his excellent presentation. And actually, I personally do use PayPal for all payments because I find it one of the most reliable and secure payment methods. So
We're glad we have you as a customer, Ksenia.
yes, you do. So guys, if you have any questions, you may still send them to our email, alliance@x-card.com. Even after this webinar is over, we will follow them up and we will be happy to help. So thank you, Bob. Thanks everyone for taking the time to join our webinar. Have a good day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.